Hey everybody, this is Fran Fraschella, draft expert and basketball junkie. To everybody who's watching, let's get our friends at General Manager Games the subscribers they deserve. Just press that red subscriber button and immerse yourself in sports AI through GM Games content. And on Twitter, it's GM_games. Let's get after it. Let's go.
And welcome back to the 2022 season of this Toronto Blue Jays career sim. I'm JayBlue, and you can find me on Twitter at JaysFromAway. And thanks for joining me on the GM Games or General Manager Games channel here. So you can see that we have a pretty solid record, 22-13. We're actually first place in the wild card competition, but we had a rough week last week, falling 3.5 games behind the Yankees. We were ahead by half a game at one point. We do have Billy McKinney, probably one of our top outfielders. He is injured. We don't know his diagnosis just yet. So here we go. We're going to begin our sim of this week. We are in May. We're about a month away from the draft, and we have a great draft position this year. We were, I think we're picking 4th, so that's going to be really a lot of fun come draft day. So let's finish today. We don't have a game today, and McKinney is gone for 3 months, so that is pretty disappointing. So let's find McKinney here. We're going to put him on the disabled list. If we need room on the 40-man, we can move him to the 60-day. We also have Barucki on the 60-day injured list. Rafael Dolis is on the 60-day injured list. He's still gone for 12 months. Shun Yamaguchi gone for 10 to 11 months. Yusniel Diaz gone for a couple of weeks. And McKinney gone for 3 months. Our outfielders are getting a little bit thin. We do have Steven Souza Jr., so this is exactly why we went out and got a couple of outfielders for depth, because Steven Souza Jr. at least has some major league experience. And we're going to bring him up. We're going to put him on the 40-man roster. On the 40-man roster, we have some room. We have 36, so no worries there. Now, we do also still have Chavez Young on the Major League roster, but let's see what our manager decides. He decides to put Steven Souza Jr. in right field on an everyday basis. All right, so now we start the actual games this week. We're going to face Joe Musgrove and the Pittsburgh Pirates, former Blue Jay minor leaguer Joe Musgrove. And we've got Hyunjin Ryu on the mound, and let's see what happens. And it's a loss, a 2-0 loss. The offense really just does not get going. We had 3 hits as a team. Guerrero, Bichette, and Grichuk all getting singles. And Ryu pitched well, but takes the loss. 2 runs in 7 2/3 with Scott Oberg and Ken Giles finishing off. All right, let's see if we can get a better result out of James Paxton and get some more run support. We get a lot more run support, 19 runs at the expense of Chris Stratton, Holmes, Garcia, blah, 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 blah. Pretty much those first 5 pitchers all give up some runs. We get hit 2, 4, 6 home runs as a team. Let's look at Paxton's line. He's rounding into shape really nicely. This is looking like a really good pickup for the Jays. 62 strikeouts in 50 innings. He's got his ERA down to 3.38, and he's got a 5-0 record. Colton Eastman, 2 scoreless innings in relief. And then, wow, look at this, folks. Vladie Guerrero, 4 hits, including a home run. Randall Grichuk with 4 hits, including, what did he include? Nothing. He just had 4 singles. JD Martinez 2 for 5 with 2 home runs. So 2 home runs for JD Martinez. Danny Jansen 2 for 4 with a double and a home run. Kevin Biggio 1 for 4. Steven Souza 3 for 6. Souza with a home run here. Bichette 2 for 6. Garcia 3 for 6. Huge day here for the offense. Home runs for Guerrero, Jansen, Souza, Bichette, and Martinez with 2 Player of the game, J.D. Martinez. So Martinez is really starting to contribute here in his final year of his contract. 9 home runs. He's already, 60% to his total last year in 30 games. Outstanding offensive eruption here. So after that 2-game series, splitting it with the Pirates, we face the Tampa Bay Rays, who are not doing that well in the American League East. Kyle Keller has cleared waivers, so we're going to assign him to the minors. We'll actually see if he accepts that assignment. He may not. Oh, he does. There we go. Okay. And Jose Quintana versus Anthony Kay. Anthony Kay struggling a little bit this year with a 5.14 ERA. And he seems to be fine. And yeah, we had a day off, which explains why nothing changed. We win again in the first game against Tampa Bay. And the Blue Jays score 8 runs with Vladie Guerrero with a big game. He hit 2 home runs, 2 for 3, 5 RBI, and 2 walks. Lourdes Gurriel had a multi-hit game. So did Luis Garcia, who hit a double, 2 for 4. And Souza Jr., 1 for 4. Biggio, 1 for 3 with a walk. Bichette, 1 for 4. Anthony Kay, solid game, 6 2/3, 1 run. Only 3 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts for him. Paul Campbell gave up a run in relief, and Colton Eastman did as well. Vladie Jr., the player of the game. All right. Nate Pearson, the club's ace, facing Tyler Glasnow, who is not pitching all that well this year. But it's a loss, and a big one, 16-6. On the mound, Pearson was struck with 2 home runs, 6 runs, 3 hits, 3 earned runs in 2 innings. Paul Campbell gave up another run. Colton Eastman gave up 3. Curtis Taylor 1. Scott Oberg 3. Wade Davis 3. Everybody got hit hard. Offensively, we did score 6 runs. Gurriel with 2 hits, including a home run. Alejandro Kirk hit a double. 2 hits for Martinez. 2 hits for Biggio. 1 for Bichette. And 1 for Souza. And 1 for Grichuk. So after that ugliness, we have 1 more game. That's right, folks. Only 1 more game this week. We're keeping the episodes a little bit short these days, partially because of my current transitional living situation. So here we go. It's our final game. We've got Sean Reed Foley and Brendan McKay. And we win, so that gives us a winning record for this week. I think we are 3-2, and Vladie Guerrero keeps going. He's really hot. He hits another home run. In fact, 2 more home runs, including a 3-run shot in the 7th inning. Vladie Guerrero, 4 more RBI, 36 RBI. He is turning it on. We're just going to check that out in a second. Danny Jansen also with a home run, being definitely more productive this year. Sean Reed Foley, decent outing. 5 walks, though, in 5 2/3 innings. That's always been his issue in the major leagues, his walks. 8 strikeouts. Curtis Taylor, Wade Davis, Tim Meza, Ken Giles get the job done out of the bullpen. So now let's take a look at our roster. Vladie Guerrero here, leading the team, 15 home runs. 2 guys with 10. 286, 342, 601. He's got a 944 OPS. That is the type of season that we are looking for from the Big V. One of the things I want to just check out is see how he's doing. He's actually doing pretty well defensively. 1.0490 defensive efficiency, meaning he is pretty much getting to everything that's expected and more. 1.3 zone rating, and he's got a nice $6.25 million salary. And he's earning it. I mean, he's a one-time All-Star, but I think he has a chance at another All-Star with what he's doing. He is really playing well. Danny Jansen, compared to what he's been doing last year, he's got an OPS of 112, which is above average. Last year was his best year in the majors, and he had a 67 OPS plus. So he is really starting to contribute. I love that 356 on-base percentage. Kevin Biggio is having a positive OPS plus. He Again, he's improving very slowly. I mean, the ratings are not fantastic. But he has a 396 on-base percentage, which is fantastic, and a 455 slugging, which is excellent. 5 home runs for him. He's definitely has the ability to get close to that 15 home run career high that he's got. Luis Garcia off to a phenomenal start. Again, he's not going to deliver a lot of power, and his eye is still developing, and so is his home run power. But 37 games into the season, 16 doubles. I mean, he's going to hit a ton of doubles. So I'm really pleased with what Garcia is doing. I'm just hoping that, unlike last year, which was his rookie season, he's able to keep that up over the course of the year. He's hitting 327, 385, 484. We can already see his average starting to slip, but if he keeps hitting a lot of doubles, keeps getting on base, he's going to be a very valuable contributor, and he has as much WAR as Vladie does, and fielding-wise, also a very positive defender there at third base. And he's still so young. He's 22, just turned 22. Happy birthday. Kevin Smith is doing okay. He's very limited role, but he is hitting when he's been asked. Bo Bichette is also putting up positive numbers as our shortstop. 293, 41, 451 for a 792 OPS, which is roughly in line with what he did in his first season. Defensively, he is kind of, I guess I would say, a little bit below average. He's not phenomenal defensively. The problem is right now he doesn't have a lot of experience playing second base. Gurriel is above average right now, 261, 305, 532, so that slugging is great. 8 home runs for him. Randall Grichuk is really putting up some nice numbers through 283, 366, 552 with 10 home runs. Really nice season, and that's a bounce back for Grichuk, who had a 70 OPS plus last year. He is in, I believe, the second last year of his contract. So he has one more year on that contract, so any kind of production we can squeeze out of him will be great. Steven Souza is holding his own, and JD Martinez is doing pretty well. 261, 323, 563, so 10 home runs for Martinez. He only had 15 last year, and I think he can match that. This is kind of a rebound season. It is the last year of his contract, so he may be playing for another contract. He's only 34, which means, he doesn't want to be done after this year. Certainly not going to be back here, where we definitely can't pay him what he's going to want. So Nate Pearson hasn't had a phenomenal year so far. He's been getting lit up a little bit. James Paxton has really been rounding into form. Very curious what he might want as an extension. 3 years, $10 million. Not the worst. Not the worst. If he keeps this up, he may get... Problem is, if we don't sign him now, he's going to want more, and that's the big problem. Anthony Kay is also not doing as well as he has been in the past. Sean Reed-Foley, solid, but again, 20 walks is a little bit high, but everything else has been pretty solid. And Hyunjin Ryu, it's been hit or miss for him in the bullpen. Colton Eastman, again, he's our Rule 5 guy. I want to actually... I wonder if I could avoid high leverage. Yeah. Long relief. Yeah. Tim Mesa is our lefty specialist. Paul Campbell. Okay. Let's take a look at the minors. So, Elvis Luciano doing very well. He continues to do well. His most recent start, excellent. 6 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. So, this week, he has had 2 starts and given up 3 runs in 11 and 2/3 innings. So really nice work there for Elvis Luciano. Simeon Richardson recently, very good as well. Not quite as good as Luciano, but he's younger. He's 21. Luciano's a bit older. He's 22. Joey Murray has had a very good start. 9 strikeouts here against, I think that's Charlotte, this week. Spencer Turnbull has also been pretty good in the minors. He's a really nice depth arm. And Roansi Contreras doesn't look like he's gotten a start. Oh, he pitched 9 innings, a complete game 11 strikeout game against Charlotte. So, yeah, he did get a start and just racked up the innings there. So that's great. The rest of these guys, Thomas Hatch is doing pretty well in the bullpen. Julian Fernandez is doing very well. He is putting himself in the consideration for a major league call-up at some point. Kyle Keller, Danny Jimenez. Not the best for Danny Jimenez, but he is still striking out a ton of guys, and that 70 stuff rating is pretty fantastic. Yeah, that's pretty good for the pitchers here. And the hitters, again, the guy we're really keeping an eye on here is Gabby Mourinho. He's probably our best catching prospect right now. He's got 3 home runs, but a 134 OPS plus. Michael Toglia we traded for. He's got a 112 OPS plus. Not the best. Ryan Noda, 102 OPS plus. Jonathan Villar is having a great season in the minors. Cameron Eden is hitting well, but in a very limited role, and Brock Lundquist is having a decent season overall. New Hampshire is 14-16, so not the best, but Philip Clark is the guy we're watching. This huge 423 on-base percentage and a 500 slugging percentage is what we want to see from Clark. This is way, way better than what he did last year, and at a higher level, too. Jake Brodt is hitting whenever he gets a chance, 178 OPS plus, but he's only got 23 plate appearances. Samad Taylor, that's really nice to see. 246, 412, 538. I mean, that's I think a fringy major league profile, but we've got a lot of pluses here. His defense is not great, but his speed, base running, stealing, all really, really high. You can see he's got 2 stolen bases, 2 caught stealings. But 19 walks, 20 strikeouts, so that's also awesome to see. 412 on base percentage, and he is in his 3rd year, part of his 3rd year in AA. So we might move him up and see what happens when that happens. Jordan Groshans is below average. Now this is his first crack at AA, and you can see he's not too far off from what he did last year. But as you can see here, his overall potential is not nearly what most people think it would be in real life. Will Robertson is having a very solid season. I think this is his 2nd year in AA, improving across the board. Maybe not as much power as he had last year, just 8 home runs, and he had 1 this year so far. And then Griffin Conine is not hitting very many home runs. 303, 333, 500. Part of his 2nd season in AA, and we definitely have improvements across the board here. So that's great to see. On the mound, Riley Thompson is injured, diagnosis pending. Jency Diaz, a little bit of an improvement, but not a ton. Alec Manoah is like a new pitcher, and in his 1st year in AA. Graham Spraker is regressing, and Kyle Bradish is regressing. Winkowski is healthy. He was looking injured for a little bit. Again, we'd like to see that strikeout rate up. Gabriel Ponce is pitching very, very well. I might move him up to AAA fairly soon. All right, we're going to go take a look at the Dunedin Blue Jays. Eric Pardinho, his last start was decent. 5 innings, 6 strikeouts, 2 runs, 5 hits, 3 walks. Start before that was not great. 2 2/3 innings, 5 runs. So he's kind of like very hit and miss, like really inconsistent. 5 innings, 2 runs, 5 innings, 1 run. But in between, we had 2 2/3 innings, 5 runs, 2 2/3 innings, 5 runs, 5 innings, 4 runs. So very inconsistent for him. He's still only 21, and he's got a lot of room to improve. So we're hoping that these things improve, especially his changeup. Justin Maesi not doing great. He is regressing. Alex Nolan is okay. Trey Dillard. Now Dillard is a guy that we had him with the minor league contract, but he was traded to us, so not a ton invested in him. He was kind of an add-in for the trade. And Antonio Saldana is doing very well. He was one of our own draft picks. 26th rounder, but he's been performing well, and he's been a really good organizational pitcher for us. The bullpen is not really impressing me. Francisco Ruiz is impressing me. Look at those numbers since his promotion. Only 9 games, though, since being promoted to Dunedin. It's 22, catcher. Defensive stats are pretty good, so I do like to see that. Not a lot of potential here in the ratings, though. And of course, on the Dunedin Blue Jays, we have Nick Gonzalez. And Nick Gonzalez is definitely, I think he's red hot. He is improving. So if we look at our last 5 games, 2 hits, a home run in the last game, 2 hits there and a double, another hit here. So he is definitely bringing his average up. If we take a look at his game log, he was drifting down to 263 was the lowest point, and that was about, 12, 15 games ago, and he's really brought that up. He's hit a few home runs in that span. So right now he's sitting with 6 home runs, 517 slugging percentage, very comparable numbers to what he did in Lansing last year. But it's better than the league average in Dunedin. Dunedin tends to suppress offense a little bit, so that's really good to see. And his very, very positive hitting potential here, and at 22 he's definitely where he needs to be. Miguel Giraldo is really, really struggling. You can see that he's not reaching his potential very well. Leonardo Jimenez is struggling as well. Adrian Ramos and Rafael Antigua also not playing well. Justin Ammons is, however, and he's, you can see, he's doesn't have very good ratings. I mean, if you look at the OSA, it's a little better. And then, so the offense here in Dunedin is not great. We've really got Johnny Aiello and Nick Gonzalez and Francisco Ruiz and PK Morris a little bit. He's been doing pretty well. Really holding up all the offense and really carrying the teams. So here in Lansing, we look at our pitching. We've got Adam Kloffenstein really taking a step forward. Now, it is his 3rd season in Lansing, so something's got to give, and he'll probably get a promotion to test him in Dunedin very soon. But we do have some very positive growth here. Ian Bedell is also repeating in Lansing. He finished the season there last year, and 38 1/3 innings, pretty decent numbers, but about the same, about where he was last year. Jack Perkins was drafted last year. He was a 3rd round pick. He's really not improving here very much. And he's really not performing at this new level. Brandon Eisert has been at this level for a while and is performing pretty well. And Nathaniel Perez has also had another year of 14 innings at this level and is doing very well. Lazaro Estrada here, 9.6 strikeouts per 9 in his 2nd go-around. And Juan Diaz is pitching very, very well. We can move him up. I wonder how many pitchers we have in Dunedin. 16. Joel Concepcion not doing great. Sam Ryan, the strikeout rate is very low. And Logan Bender is actually doing pretty well. He was a 31st round pick. Good stuff, and not great control. On the offensive side, Yorman Rodriguez is doing slightly above average work. Spencer Horwitz is hitting well. Now, he's been in Lansing for a couple of years, so he could probably due for a promotion. Bobby Seymour just hits wherever he goes. He's never really been a starter, but he's the starter here in DH. We could use another infielder. Davis Schneider is not doing the best. John Solarte is doing fantastic. Grant Richardson was our number 2 pick last year, and he's really leveled off here, being very fringy in that profile and not really doing all that well. He's got a good morale, so I'm not really sure what else I can do. Transaction's very good, and that means he's happy with his position here. Trevor Schwecke doing pretty well, and John Solarte. So I think we could use another infielder. I'm going to go see who we have here in Vancouver before the draft. Josiah Miller didn't do that well in Vancouver. Luis de los Santos has been pretty bad. Tony Bullard. I do want a guy who can play shortstop, so I'm going to promote Josiah Miller to Lansing. Here, the Lansing Lugnuts, we're going to update. There we go. And Josiah Miller goes into a everyday role, so we're going to see what happens when we push him a little bit. DeSan Brown is another one of our prospects. Oops, that's Schwecke. We want Brown. DeSan Brown is another one of our prospects, but he's really, had a revision of his total ability here. So that's about it. Yeah. And so we've taken a look. I know it's a short episode, and I apologize to you guys for keeping things short, but I don't have a lot of time right now. Hopefully in the new year things are going to pick up, and I'll have a little bit more time for some more in-depth episodes. But for now, we're just pushing through. We're going to have a bit more of an in-depth episode when we get to the draft, so keep a lookout for that. So that's going to be all for me. I'm JayBlue at Jays From Away on Twitter, and you can find us on the General Manager Games channel. Thanks for joining us.